way. I need you to get in your car and go that way.
New video showing the initial efforts of first responders on site at the UPS plane crash from November 4th. The incredible bravery on display, but at the same time, this video showing the horror of that day again, from body cameras to video from the sky moments after the crash. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. WHAS11's Alexander Goldberg and photojournalist Gabby DeGeorge walk us through that video and have the perspective from the pilot who responded from the sky.
Where's your car at?
Over there.
Okay,
We're going.
let's.
For the very first time, we're seeing the first-hand perspective of authorities running towards the aftermath of the UPS plane crash on November 4th.
Everybody, let's go. That way. I need you to get in your car and go that way.
Here, you see a semi-truck incinerated. Just one piece of the widespread devastation that left a scar on Louisville. Louisville Metro Police released video of their initial response after the UPS cargo jet crashed and killed 15 people.
Shut it down and get out. I just need you to get out for right now.
Body camera video shows an officer running up to the driver of a waste management truck.
Just go all the way back there.
Here, a view from the sky.
Huge flames. It was over 100 feet, 150 feet in the air. Some of the explosions that went off were even higher. Really thick black smoke. Again, you could see it from miles.
The aerial video you just saw was shot by this LMPD chopper. The pilot says that they had that vantage point within minutes of the plane crash.
Here we are in first person looking at something that we've never seen before.
Officer Jason Sadek is LMPD's chief pilot. He was the one flying this Bell 206 helicopter over the scene near Muhammad Ali International Airport.
Grade Lane and Melton had been cut off by the fire, so there were people on the east side of that were trapped. They couldn't get out. There were no roads out and no roads in for the fire trucks.
Saying the best thing pilots could do in that moment is use their perspective to help the trucks get in and the people trapped get out.
We circled underneath of it to try and get perspectives of all the way around the fire, search the perimeter for victims, and trying to get help to them. So, I mean, it was a little overwhelming.
244, I'll be pulling it back over there in just a second.
LMPD video from after dark shows officers getting another shelter-in-place notification on their phones. The crash and the response, something Sadek says he will never forget. Reporting in Louisville, Alexander Goldberg, WHAS11, on your side.
The LMPD pilot says they were communicating with fire departments and with their vantage point were able to get the trucks to the places they needed to be.
And he says officers on the ground were assisting with the search, easing traffic in the area, and getting the fire trucks right into the scene. As we continue to learn more about the UPS crash, again, the final investigation is expected to be about a year away, around the time of November 4th. Again, this coming year, you can get the latest by following on the air, online, our mobile app, and our free streaming app available on smart TVs.
A scary situation for people inside this South Louisville home this morning. One of them was rescued by firefighters surrounded by heavy fire and smoke. Crews from both PRP and Fairdale Fire arrived at the scene off Scarborough Avenue to find one resident outside the home who alerted them to another person inside. Both were taken to the hospital, and a firefighter was also taken to a local clinic for some minor injuries. Louisville Metro Arson is investigating.
A woman is dead after being hit by a vehicle early this morning on Bardstown Road in southeast Jefferson County. This happened not far from Wildwood Country Club there along Bardstown Road. Metro Police responding to Bardstown Road and Watterson Trail at about 7:30 a.m. today on a report of a crash. When officers got there, police say they learned that the driver involved in a non-injury crash had actually gotten out of her vehicle and was then hit and killed by a different car while she was on the roadway. LMPD's traffic unit is investigating, but they did say no criminal charges are expected to be filed.
Right now, there's a water main break in West Louisville, and there's a giant hole to be fixed. According to Louisville Water, crews are working on repairs. Take a look at that at 15th and Jefferson Streets in the Russell neighborhood. Now, if you're planning to drive in the area, you'll need to find a detour. Once it's back open, we'll update you online and through our free mobile app.
And tonight, the surprise at the police chief's house in Louisville, an unwanted visitor. A man allegedly drunk. This man arrested after police say he walked right into Paul Humphrey's house on Saturday in Louisville. LMPD officers responded to Humphrey's home at about 5:45 p.m. Saturday night. After a report of someone entering the home, police arrested this man, 43-year-old Brandon Randall of Louisville. Police say Randall opened a door at the chief's home and said that he was, quote, at the wrong address. LMPD spokesperson Matt Sanders added there was, quote, no forced entry and therefore no break-in or targeted intent. Applications are now open for the state of Kentucky's low-income home energy assistance program. It's better known as LIHEAP. To qualify, households must fall at or below 150% of the federal poverty guidelines. Applicants will need documents like your Social Security number, proof of income, and utility bills. Benefits are available on a first-come, first-served basis now until March 27th or until funds run out. To apply, we've got a link for you on our website, and the link's mentioned in newscast story.
Another warm day today, and I didn't need the coat, but I thought I might need a raincoat for a second. It looked really cloudy.
It was interesting to see, and our chief meteorologist, Mallory Schnell, is joining us. Mallory, it looked this morning almost like the streets were wet, but it was sort of the condensation of what, the warmer temperatures and the cold ground?
Yes, exactly. That's what we get this time of year. So because we've had these ups and downs in our temperatures, our ground temperature has cooled, our air temperature and our dew points, those continue to increase. So yeah, it might look like the roads kind of sweaty even if it hasn't rained. We will continue to have these mild temperatures this week. Take a look at our highs in the 50s and 60s. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's before we have this colder air surging back in for Sunday as we do return to more typical winter-like weather Sunday through next week. A live look outside after a very cloudy start to the day. This is our First Savings Bank U of L health camera from over in Jeffersonville. We have been seeing those clouds decreasing for the end of the day. Temperatures, of course, well above average in the 50s and 60s all across Kentucky. And it has been a windy day, but those wind gusts are continuing to ease, and that should be the case as we carry on into this evening and tonight. You can see these clouds decreasing on the satellite and radar. No rain for us to track at this hour, and we'll stay quiet this evening as those overnight lows cool back off into the lower 40s. But we'll talk much more about the rain chances that we'll have to round out the work week. That's coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. Kentucky lawmakers are giving very different answers about whether you'll feel the pinch from federal changes to Medicaid and SNAP.
Congress made funding cuts over the summer, and now Kentucky's legislature must decide whether the state will shoulder more of the cost for your government health insurance and food assistance. Our political reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Aspen Hester are live right now in Frankfurt at the Capitol covering day one of this year's legislative session. And Connie, it's all about your tax dollars now.
That's right. Isaiah, it is a budget year, and some lawmakers say it's time to be more careful about spending.
Yeah, Connie, Doug, Democrats believe it is a year where they will have to make some tough decisions. They fear Medicaid and SNAP coverage for many Kentuckians could take a hit, but the Senate's top Republican here in Kentucky believes this whole concern is all overblown, saying Kentucky has plenty of money to meet the need. Listen closely to this contrast along party lines.
It will be up to us as a state to figure out how are we going to keep the people in our state housed, fed, and with access to quality health care.
There is no dark cloud looming on the receipts or the budget, as some people want to portray. We feel very comfortable where we are. We've been able to manage and move the state forward.
Will Kentuckians lose out on any services or programs as a result, whether it be Medicaid, SNAP, things of that?
We are constantly looking for ways to make our delivery of services better and more efficient.
President Trump's big beautiful bill shifts more of the costs for Medicaid and SNAP to the states. So Kentucky, as an example, is forced to decide just how much of it'll cover for you at home. Now, we've heard rumblings there could be stricter eligibility rules coming this session or for many of these programs. And to give you some perspective, one Democratic lawmaker already today filed 2 bills to, in her words, protect these services from being touched at all. Doug, Connie.
Isaiah, thank you. Well, is JCPS coming back under the microscope of lawmakers who want to make changes? We'll have that story, a developing story from Frankfurt, coming up here live at 6. Connie?
Well, one of the first bills of this session has been filed. Lebanon Republican Senator Jimmy Higdon filed Senate Bill 28, or the Phone Down Kentucky Act. The senator says he hopes to close the gaps in state law allowing drivers to use cell phones while driving. Now, if passed, it would prevent nearly all handheld mobile devices from being used while driving. The bill is inspired by the 2021 death of 2-year-old Kimberly Burns. She died while in a crash caused by a distracted driver.
Also new tonight, U.S. Representative from Indiana Jim Baird is expected to make a full recovery after his vehicle was struck in a car accident that sent him and his wife to the hospital. The Republican's office made the announcement today but did not include any further details. Baird, who represents the 4th Congressional District in West Central Indiana, is 80 years old. We are told both are expected to survive.